Hello everyone to the 8th episode of Tonpuusen by ChunmanTV. We will do one Tonpuusen and then the Maka AI analysis. We are facing a celestial level 12 and 2 Saint ones. We have a nice hand here. We have an Uncle East and then we have a very solid hand which can reach in like row 1 very easily. Door acceptance is kind of awkward, but it's still there. It is 5, 6, 7, 7 months shape. We can get the Ariyaman paired up, or we can get a 7-month pair, and then we can use the Tora in that way. Yo, E something for 8-month Kansan and the 2-5. And it's just an instant Riichi. Just there's no no going back in something or just breaking tempo in Tonpuusen. You just have to just maximize your win rate. You can cut the 6 here for more acceptance here on the pinch. Tora is nice for being and it's nice. Replace a 1 Scott 8-man shape. When do I think about calling? It really depends. The 8-man is kinda a must call, but if it comes out here, I kinda want to skip. We can still draw something around this 5-pin. If the 5-pin was like a Russus on a Tau, the call would be almost like not guaranteed, but would be almost forced. But we have a strong floater here in the 5-pin, also having Tora acceptance. So in the case we don't get the 8-man or we skip the 8-man, we can extend here on the pinch. Ramen now, this is definitely a skip, even in Tonpuusen, unless we get the Aka, but...
Riichi
2-5 so ramen for Riichi East. A bit like unfortunate with a 6 8 in our pond, but you just need to shima.
Riichi
1000, 2000. Good start. Another good hand here. You have one Akadora, one normal Tora. Then well shapes. But we are just... Oh, I really wanted to read the North here. I really wanted to read the North, but... I guess we are reading the other Tora. But that's like... I want to keep the 5-pin. I want to just go open Tundra 1 Tora, but with the North pair up, like... you kinda can't go that route anymore. There are plenty of options close as well. There's like 7 pairs out. There is just a close hand with 2 Tora as well. This 5-pin first card is pretty suspicious. Also really shows that we don't have any pins, because like if we had like 2 3 pin or 7 8 pin, we would probably try to keep the Aka Tora in our hand. We fixed the auto ramen here. The 6-9 is way better to win on, especially now it's 1 chance on the 8-man than the 4-7. So we take the extra Tau here. Take the higher win rate here with the Aka Riichi. I'm not that afraid that it deals in, but it can still deal in, of course. You have a really degenerate way though, the 4-7, so with the Aka to the... But we don't need a value in Tonpuusen. We don't have Raku, so we are forced to Riichi. The Sapa was another option, but... But I just want to take the ramen. you have a comfortable first place here. The thing in Tonpuusen is that people will be pushing the Torah. Wait, that is okay. Doesn't matter. Because people are just trying to complete their own hand, and Torah doesn't have that high of a deal in rate. And then people will push it way more than in Hansan for sure because of win rate. And people can't Mawasi on the Torah. It's really difficult to Mawasi the Torah when it's Yakuhai, or not Yakuhai, Circus win. So they will have to fold their hands basically when they draw the Torah, or they will deal in. You will just take the defensive stance here. There's no reason to play this full efficiency. Although we have plenty of shapes here and plenty of good Tau draws, but we are just hoping that we get to East 4 and then win the game by not doing much. I think we just go to Risha here. Playing our hand ultra slow, but there's just no point in trying to play the hand any faster. I wonder what that 2 show comes from, because that it's not a 4 show pair. Perhaps a Rankan comes on 5 show. Can come from like a 2-3-4-5 show shape, but I don't think that's the case still. Because there's a 1 show, I can put them on like a cons on 5. What is the cut here? Like surely a monster, but like, do we want to deal in? I don't think it's that expensive. I don't think it's that expensive. We see 2 Akatora, we see that they already dropped Tora, there are 3 Toras. Here we have 2 Akatoras. The 3-pin is completely toast. The 2-pin was probably better, but who cares, right? Double Mushuchi from Tournament, they are 100% template here. Also pushing against 4 is pretty spooky, not gonna lie. 16 Nakatsuchi East. I'm a bit slow here, but the East can't be pushed, right? Nah, 16. Imagine dealing in with that. The 5 star is Nakatsuchi, but it still deals into Tournament, and it is a Honicha. With 2 Rakuhai, almost, never mind, it's not a toy, it can't be a toy, it's just a Kansan 5. I thought it was like 4 or 5, but it's just a 5 show Kansan. And I put them on like a 5 show Kansan earlier anyway with the 2 show discard, so my lead was okay. You still have a 4k lead here. I didn't necessarily put them on Honitsu though, but I let her wait. Like, as long as you don't deal in, it doesn't matter what they have, right? I think we are just having to fight a little bit with this hand. Because our hand can easily win, but we also don't want to push that hard. But Tournament needs 3 Han Sumo basically, or they need 2 Hanron. And the Tora is very easy to get. It's a middle tower here, so, and like we can put them on like 2000 easily, so we kinda have to fight. Because 3 Han Sumo is enough for them. If they have 3 Hanron, like they don't have enough. Unless they roll me. So our hand is a bit clunky here with a lot of pairs. The shapes aren't fixed yet. This 7-8-8 so shape is slightly playing out, and here we are completely out. This see towards east something, but it's not viable. We go 8-0, 8-0, and then we hope that we can not deal in basically. Not dealing in is like the name of the game here. This is one chance on the 7s now. It's really unfortunate if we throw by dealing in, but we don't have anything better than the one chance and the pair card here. Unless it's Paimon or Hanuman. If it's Hanuman, we are sad. Okay, it doesn't seem like Hanuman. If the Shimoda ones we would have been very sad, but we got a good first place here.
まさか1位を取れてしまうなんて。今日もみんなと思う存分麻雀ができて嬉しいです。
Let's check the Maka AI analysis. I got an A+. What a disaster. He did nothing wrong. Apparently we did. Yeah, it got 6. I think this hand is pretty straightforward. 7 Mountfields, Sakigiri, and then the Naima. And then press the Riichi button here. And then there's no decision here. It actually considers the 8-man here. It actually considers the 8-man, which is quite funny. But there's also some cheatoids as well. So I think it's almost always the AK. And like if the North were no Tora, like I would probably keep the 5-beam, but what did we do wrong? I got the right tile here. It wants to Riichi normal 5, and Kamita was actually Tempai. Wait, what? His pawn is so degenerate, but yeah, just skip, and then they took not the 5-8, but they took the 3-man, and here we AK retreat. Shimoto is actually tempered here, so there's no fault in dealing in, or they have a good argument for dealing in there. Everyone is tempered here actually, which is kind of funny. It's a Chinchon with extra full. Well, most likely if they sumo it's extra full. He didn't trap anyone because everyone was just tempai. Everyone was just tempai. I know that we didn't play this hand perfectly, but like this 2-so with this 1-so could be like a pension card, but it's really unlikely when they already opened that they got a pension. That they still got a pension afterwards. So after the first one and then the second pawn here, then the 2-so I put them on like a 5-so constant because they don't have the 4-so pair, because there's a 4-so here. Because I would have pawned the 4-so if they had a pair here on the left, so I knew it wasn't for 4-so shape. So then it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they got 1, 2, but it doesn't make sense because that would be just waiting on the 3-so. 36-so I mean, so the only shape that I could read is a constant 5. Or like it could be some ramen constant shenanigans with 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. So where they got a 2-so for 5-8, so that could also technically be the case, but after this 8-so passed, there's only one shape that I really can think of, and then the other wants to go 2-pin, the 3-pin is toast, but who cares, right? Yes, this is an Itze, by the way. I was looking at the 7-man, but it's a Riichi Itze on the 5-man console. But they dealt in instead. I was thinking about the 5 sub, but like we have 7,000 experience. And then I don't know, like I would probably go 1 sub and not for the Nakatsuchi. It's really not that obvious that Torment is on the social units. Yeah. Like if we look at Kami's spawns, we see that they don't have a lot of social, and if we look at Simo's spawn with the 2 8 Sophios discards, they don't have that many social either, but we have a lot of social of our own, of ourselves I mean. Toyman didn't have enough. Toyman was just trying to secure second. Then here, did we make a mistake here? Wait, oh, yeah, this 5-man is also 1 chance, but the 1 chance on the 5-man is Sparrow. Yeah, the 1 chance here on the 5-man is Sparrow. On the 7-man that is, because it's never deals into the cons on 4-6 because of the 7-man in the pond. But we have a pair of 7 stars, that is why it's so close, but this turn the 5-man is better. If you take it over 2 turns, this episode might be better, but it's still worst in Maka AI eyes. Luckily they didn't hit Ira, they didn't get the Ipeco, and we got first here. Thank you for watching, and then we'll see you in the next episode. The next episode will be probably Ho again.